Apostle. That was a great millstone. Peace and salutations to Yakim out there, pushing across the four corners of earth, the elect brethren. Another day in Babylon. And just go right to some scriptures, because you still got a lot of wickedness going on in this place. You still got the nation of Israel who doesn't want to wake up to their nationality. They don't want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. They don't want to come back to their nationality. They don't want to. They don't want to pray. They don't want to pray to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, the power and the God of life. They don't want to pray to the God of the Bible. They want to do, their own thing. They want to continue on to be wicked. Now, when you get in that state where you just want to continue to be wicked, that's where you get your punishment. That's where you really, get yourself in a predicament. But the men of the Lord, we desire the kingdom. We desire, the things that were promised to us in the scriptures, the rulership. We desire all of that. We desire a nation. We desire order. We desire brotherhood. We desire all of that. It's desirable. This is 2 Corinthians 13. This is the third time I'm coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. I told you before and foretell you as if I were present the second time, and being absent now I write to them which heretofore have sinned, and to all other that if I come again, I will not spare. Since ye seek a proof of Yahweh Shai speaking in me, which to you word is not weak, but is mighty in you. For though he was crucified through weakness, yet he liveth by the power of the Most High. For we also are weak in him, but we shall live with him by the power of the Most High toward you. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove yourselves, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahweh Shai is in you, except ye be reprobates. I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. Now I pray to the Most High that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. And that's what it's about, man. We can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So even scriptures say what? Against Israel, let not a dog move his tongue. That's why we go out and we preach. And for the truth. But the people of this world, they're not for the truth. They're about lies and deception and cons and all of the bullshit. That's what the way of this world is about. Do as thou wilt. Men of the Lord, though, we're for the truth. Right. I'm gonna just say it's a process too. It's a process to figuring out the whole truth and living the truth. Yeah, that's why we're supposed to give diligence. Give diligence what diligence is due. And this is 1 Thessalonians 4 and 11. What's up, man? Let me ask you something. Okay. and that ye study to be quiet and do your own business, and to work with your own hands as we commanded you, that ye may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing. But I would not have you ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will the Most High bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and the voice of the archangel, and the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. So that's what we do. We comfort each other with knowing those facts, that when the time comes, all the dead are going to be risen up. The dead in Yahushua, the men who passed on, and they represented and they put the work in for Yahushua, put in works for Yahushua. They lived their life for Yahushua. So all of our elders who labor, their labor was never in vain, because we're continuing on from where they left off, and they're going to come back, and they're going to be honored in that as well. Like it says, with the voice of the archangel and the trump of the Most High. The scriptures talk about when the Lord comes back, it's going to be like a trumpet sound. And then all that are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. We're going to be beamed up in the chariots. Chariots are going to be in the sky. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. So in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be with the Lord. Now notice that doesn't say everybody. Everybody's not going to receive salvation. And like the so-called church teachers and the Catholic Church or whatever teaches. So we're not like the church teaches. We're not going to be, everybody's not going to be called forth. Because what they did with the church, they used the Bible to manipulate the people. The Catholic Church, the slave master, like they showed you in Nat Turner. They used the Bible to manipulate the people, but the truth of the scriptures is going to be called forth. So everything that they did, that they lied about, everything that they falsified, that information is going to come out. And as a matter of fact, it's now. It's coming out now, 2018, the year of prophecy. It's continuing to come out. It's continuing to come out. And it's going to continue to come out. The men of the Lord are going to remain diligent. We're going to fulfill prophecy, and we're going to push forth until the famine of the world, which, like the elders were saying, that's going to come next. This is Daniel 8 and 13. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation? To give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. And it came to pass, when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be division. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be. That's right. So at the time appointed, it's going to come to end, which right now it doesn't look like it. We're still kind of on our daily schedule. You got to get up, you got to go, you got to do this, you got to pay this bill. Esau does a good job of hiding different prophecies. He does a good job of hiding that and pushing forth his doctrine, pushing forth pushing forth his folly, basically. That's what this kingdom is about, folly, pushing forth folly. That's why the people act the way they do, they dress the way they dress, they look the way they look. Because Esau has put folly forth in every single every avenue. Every avenue Esau puts forth folly into that. And they also put their energy into it, the left-handed energy, because that's the energy they receive from Satan. So they're only doing what they were programmed to do. But us, the Israelites, we are programmed, we're supposed to be trying to program ourselves to be the righteous men, to be righteous. We're supposed to program ourselves to be righteous. And we're supposed to continue on with the faith, through the good, through the bad, through the up, through the down. That's what the daily grind is about. Continuing on, pushing forth through the up, through the down, through the good, through the bad. And then utilizing the scriptures to do so. Going through the scriptures and pulling out all your weak points. You know, of course you know your strong points because you spent time to get them that way. But going to the hard part, going to your weak points, going to your weaknesses, going to the different things that you struggle in, and basically, like the brother's been saying, man, detoxing, spiritually detoxifying your spirit, detoxifying yourself, and oftentimes you have to detox it helps to detox your flesh too, but detoxifying your spirit, because this world is a very toxic place. We're born into toxic conditions, vexation of spirit, evil put upon you, things that are put upon your mind that is damn near make you crack open and fuck up. This is Hebrews 10. This is Hebrews 10:7. Then lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O God. Above, when he said, sacrifice and offering and burnt offerings and offering for sin, thou wouldest not, neither hadst pleasure therein, which are offered by the law. I'm going to read that again. Above, when he said, sacrifice and offering and burnt offerings and offering for sin thou wouldest not, neither hadst pleasure therein, which are offered by the law. Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second. So that's talking about the covenant. He took away the first covenant that he laid with Moses, and then he gave us it's a new covenant. By the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Yahushua once for all. And every priest standeth daily ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices, which can never take away sins. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of the Most High, which is talking about Yahushua. For henceforth, expecting till his enemies be made his footstool, he offered himself. He offered himself up to the world. And he became that perfect and that pure sacrifice. He became that perfect and that pure sacrifice. And now he's at the right hand of the Most High. And then from henceforth expecting till his enemies be made his footstool. So he's going to try to, the scriptures talk about that. The world is the Most High's footstool. You know, something's your footstool, that's something you easily have control over. That's something that rests at your feet. That's powerful. For the world to be your footstool. That's a powerful thing for your enemies to be at your footstool. For you to have absolute control over them. Right now, our people who haven't waken up to that power, our people in the world, the blacks, so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, these people are the footstool. These people are, our people are the footstool of the so-called Edomites. Our people are the footstool of the so-called Edomites. We're at the mercy of them. Now we know how it's going to end. We know how it's going to play out. It's all according to prophecy, right? The Bible cannot lie. There's no lies written in the Bible.
Yes, there are.
Which ones? Which ones?
The whole thing.
Okay. Well, you're a fool. Anyway, like I was saying, there are no lies that are written in the Bible. And if he had one, he could have at least proven what he was saying. Because the Bible is a pure book. But we just don't admit, or at least the people in the world don't admit that they don't understand the Bible. They can't say they understand it. Matter of fact, I'm going to take it all the way back. Our people can't say that they understand any part of our previous culture or anything. They can't understand the energy that brought us here. And hell, how can you understand? Because you haven't been taught that information. Like the scriptures say, how can I know lest some man should teach me? How can I know unless some man should teach me? Some things you can't understand unless you're taught. They're just not going to click within you. The scriptures being one, that's Bible 101. You need a teacher. You need a preacher. And you need that order over you. And that goes with every so-called thing of difficulty. You know, I'm boxing again. I gotta come to boxing, basketball. You have to be taught the basics. You have to be taught the advanced concepts. You have to be taught all of that. All of that has to be taught and explained. From henceforth expect until his enemies be made his footstool. For by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified, whereof the Holy Spirit also is a witness to us. For after that he had said before. What y'all doing?
Listening.
Okay, I'm just reading the Bible. You guys know about the Israelites in the Bible?
Yes. We go to a Catholic school.
You go to Catholic school? Okay. What do you know about the Israelites?
I know that Moses parted the Red Sea so that but then when his army came through the Red Sea, Moses chose them, and they all died. Moses never got to make it to the promised land.
No, he didn't. That's right. That's true.
Because he struck the rock twice when he said,
Touch the rock. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's right. But now, I just want to hit y'all with this because I was busy. We got the Israelites are here in America now. We're still here to this day. So-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latino people, we're the true Israelites of God. We those people that were back there with Moses. Because it tells you what, Moses was of the tribe of what? He's a Levite. He's a Levite, tribe of Levite. You have 12 tribes of Israel. Each tribe is a different nation. And the Israelites are God's chosen people. And one of the things he said in the Bible, he said, I will send the Israelites once they disobey me, I'm going to send them into captivity. That's how we came here. We were placed in captivity. Now is the time that we're coming back to our heritage and our people start to wake up. That's a good thing to know.
Thank you. Thank you.
I take it easy. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Man. You got our people willing to know. Now they're, we're Edomites in the Catholic Church institution, but maybe they'll wake up. Maybe they'll wake up to it. They seem very happy to know the Bible, but at the same time, like I said, they got Satan around trying to poison them with that Catholic shit. For the longest time, the Catholic Church didn't allow so-called Negroes in the church, even though it was so-called Negroes who created the Catholic Church, because they know the truth. That's why the bourgeois, they were the head of the Catholic Church. They helped it, to go against us. Then you had the Renaissance. That was another spearhead by the Catholic Church. You got what? Dominican Republic, named after the Order of Saint Dominic. That's because the Catholic Church went to the Caribbean and enslaved the people there. And enslaved the people in Puerto Rico, enslaved the people of South America, and beat that Catholicism into them. Went into Mexico, beat the Catholicism into them. They didn't really get, it's the Southern Kingdom, we didn't really get that one, but that wasn't our lot to fulfill really. But you do have a lot of Southern Kingdom people into Catholicism too, though. I can say that. In Jamaica, and a lot of them are Catholic. But yeah, that's Jake. That's Jake waking up. Jake, our people are waking up. I brought my phone. I should have bought the physical Bible. This is 1 Samuel 28. In And it came to pass in those days, this is the ancient kingdom, of course, that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said to David, or Ashish, know thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said to Ashish, surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Ashish said to David, therefore will I make thee keeper of mine here forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land, which that's what you were supposed to do. That's what Israel did in transition periods. They put those wicked men out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul basically saw and lost faith. He was about to go up against the Philistines. The Philistines were hard warriors. That was those Hamites. They call it Palestine today. Palestine goes back to Philistines. Philistines are Canaanite. And Saul basically lost faith.
We understand if you go on to
like I said, as Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by the dreams nor by Urim the prophet. So he had no answers for him. Because that's how Yahweh Shai, he did that on purpose to test Saul. Then like it says, then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and two men with him, and they came to a woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul has done,